Today we take a look at the outside linebackers available in this year's draft. Last week we examined the class of defensive ends, some of whom could be outside linebackers in a 3-4 defense like the Chargers run, but we included them as ends because that was their primary position in college. We talked about Bjorn Werner of Florida State, Deion Jordan out of Oregon, Ezekiel Anza of BYU. Those are the top three guys, some other first-rounders, Alex Okafor from Texas, Dayton Jones from UCLA, and Demontre Moore from Texas A&M. Now, as for the players we classify as outside linebackers here, well, some of them could wind up being ends in the NFL as well. But for our purposes here, we chose to classify them as outside linebackers because they're more of that position in a 4-3, and more likely that's what they will play in the NFL. Jarvis Jones, let's start there. He may be the most talented of these guys and was definitely the most productive in college. Jones had 28 sacks and 44 tackles for loss as an outside linebacker in Georgia's 3-4 defense the past 2 seasons. He forced 7 fumbles in 2012 alone. But his lead up to the draft has done nothing to allay concerns over a spinal condition. That spinal condition has a definite connotation for those of us in San Diego. See, Jones was diagnosed with spinal stenosis in 2009. That's the same condition that caused left tackle Marcus McNeil to fall to the 2nd round in 2006. The Chargers drafted McNeil and enjoyed 5 mostly injury-free years before neck and spine issues forced McNeil to miss half of the 2011 season and then retire in 2012. Jones' pro day numbers and performance in position drills were not all that impressive, which he needed them to be. He may have needed to blow some people away, actually. At the combine, though, Jones was optimistic. He explained his condition.
Well, I got a slight narrowing in my spine in the C4 and C5. And just like pretty much anybody, probably some of y'all got spinal stenosis too. Y'all probably don't know it. I was one of the few that have it, but I mean, most of the doctors check me out, and they feel like that I'm fine. I don't have no contusion or anything like that in it, and I only had one accident of having a stinger at USC, 2009, my freshman year. Never had any symptoms after that, and I mean, I played 2 years of SEC football, red-shirted. Practice every day, never had any symptoms, so I feel like I'm healthy. The doctors felt like I was healthy today, and I'm excited. I love this game. I'm gonna continue to do what I can to protect myself. If that I got to be in the weight room more to keep building my neck up, keep building my shoulder up. And I think I mean some great doctors out there. They know if that if I shouldn't be playing this game, I should have stopped a long time ago, because I mean, from my MRI from the first day it happened to the day, my neck hasn't got any worse. It still looked the same. So I mean, that's good.
There is someone who will believe in this productive player. He should be available at number 11 for the Chargers, though, and we know they could use another pass rusher. But the team took Melvin Ingram in the 1st round last year, and they need to land a top offensive tackle with that 1st pick. All I can say about Jones, since we can't predict the future regarding his injury, is he was an impact player in the SEC over 2 seasons. He should be an immediate impact player in the NFL. Now, some have Louisiana State's Barkevious Mingo ahead of Jones, but Mingo did not have nearly the same production in the same conference as did Jones. Now, Mingo does have the body frame with long arms and room to put on weight. He was also impressive at the combine and in position drills at his pro day. He clocked a 4.53 40. Good for a big man. He won't last past the middle of the 1st round. Another guy, Kansas State's Arthur Brown. Now, he missed the Senior Bowl and the combine due to his shoulder injury, so he needed a good pro day to solidify his 1st round status, and he had a good pro day. Now, just 6'1", his height could drop him into the 2nd round, where a team would get a really, really good value.
My goal is to be everywhere I need to be as a linebacker. Pursuing to the ball, relentless pursuit, that's a key element to my game and to any defensive game. So that's definitely something that I strive to always consistently do, is pursuing to the ball, aggressively downhill. Always confident in my ability in open space to get the job done.
Jarvis Jones' Georgia teammate Alec Ogletree is another possible first-rounder. He is a fantastic athlete who used to play safety. Now, suspension in 2012, reportedly for violating Georgia's substance abuse policy, is among the things dropping him. Before we go, I want to talk about a guy who could go anywhere from the 2nd to the 4th round. Sean Porter's numbers his senior season at Texas A&M, they were not impressive, and there is some thought that he needs to be more physical. But we got to point out, his role was changed his senior season to involve more coverage and having him all over the place, as opposed to his junior year when he led the Big 12 with 9.5 sacks as Von Miller's replacement. I love this kid. He's quicker than he is fast. He just knows how to get to the ball. That's important. He can play a lot of positions. At the Combine, he addressed scouts knocking his physicality, and he talked about his versatility.
I've dropped into coverage a lot over my college years, and especially this past year, learning this 4-3, and the year before, a couple years before that, having to learn a whole new system, learning the 3-4. I don't think that the mental adjustment is going to be a big deal for me, because I'm good with picking up defenses and just learning things quick. So I'm just excited to get in there and get things rolling.
All right, cool. Join me Thursday when we look at this year's inside linebacker class.